I want to tell you about the year that Hannah stopped pretending. Not the year she got her miracle, the year before that. Because before her miracle, there was a marriage, and in that marriage, there was a pain that nobody really talked about. Now, if you're a Bible student, you know how much Hannah's husband loved her. Igbo people will say, "Onele ayani, ohori anani." He's always, interested in everything that concerns her. He knows when she hadn't eaten. He gave her double portions of everything. He even asked her one very interesting question. Am I not more than 10 sons to you? So he really valued her. But the thing about love is that it doesn't tend to reach every single room inside of a person's heart, especially a room in somebody's heart that is void of the person's desires. For example, Hannah, she really wanted a child. And in those days, being a woman who couldn't conceive and bear children, it wasn't just a sad thing. It was like a societal verdict. It followed her everywhere. It sat on every table with her. And it traveled with her to Shiloh every year. The fact that she didn't have a child of her own was a huge problem. Not just to her, the human being, to everybody around her, to the community where she lived. It was an embargo. And then there was Penina. Penina was the other wife, and she was the one that had all the children, so she knew the button to press in Hannah that will make her feel the full weight of that one thing that she didn't have. Now, every year in Shiloh, which was like the most holy moment in their calendar and time set apart for God Most High, Penina will find a way to get to that wound that Hannah had. She did it year after year after year. Now, I don't know what your version of Penina looks like. Maybe it's someone whose pregnancy announcement you had to smile through. Maybe it's the colleague who got the promotion you've been working hard towards. Maybe it's a friend whose life seems to keep moving on and progressing while yours seems like stuck and void of any interesting events. And it's not even like you're a bitter person. You do love God. You show up for the purposes of the kingdom. You do what you're supposed to do as a human being. You are intentional about your relationship with God. You're intentional about being a good person. But some days, the joys of the people that you love could land on a very tender place, and you have no words for what it is costing you on the inside. That was Hannah every single year. Until one year, she got up from the table. She didn't tell anybody where she was going. She just walked into the temple and stood before God. And she prayed the kind of prayer that just there was nothing else to perform. She prayed from her heart. Her lips were moving, but nothing was coming out. She stopped holding back the version of her grief that felt too raw, too ugly, too desperate to bring into a holy place. She just poured everything out, undiluted. And then she made a vow to God. Father, if you do this for me, if you give me a son, I'll give him right back to you. And then the priest came and made his own judgments. He was like, this woman, she's clearly not in control of herself. What's happening here? He assumed she was drunk, but no, she wasn't. She was just completely, unreservedly honest with God. And when the priest, Eli, accused her of being drunk, this woman that was already at the end of herself, with nothing left to lose, she didn't crumble. She lifted up her head and said, I'm not drunk. I'm a woman of sorrowful spirits, and I've been pouring out my soul before the Lord. Oh my God, it's about to rain. And honestly, I think a lot of women are performing their faith, praying polished prayers, showing God the acceptable version of their pain. God is who you're trying to perform for. You're trying to cover the real and raw parts of what you're going through. Hannah shows us that God can handle all of it and some. That even the prayer that has no sound, God can hear it. And when Eli realized what was actually going on, he blessed her and told her to go in peace. And then she went back to the table and ate, and she had a brighter countenance. So it's not like her answer came immediately, but she had poured out all the heavy weights before God, and she went back to her husband and family lighter. I don't know who is watching me right now. You've been carrying this burden for the longest time. It's overwhelming. Remember that Jesus said, come unto me, O ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. It's time to leave that heavy weight at the feet of the Master. pour it all out from the bottom of your belly. Let it go. Because there's nothing you can do about it. So give it to the one who can do everything about it. That's the wisest thing to do. That hurt, that pain, that disappointment, whatever it is, Jesus is able to bring out beautiful roses from those sharp thorns that were handed to you. Come back next Sunday, because what happens when God remembers Hannah is going to completely undo how you see surrender. Tell me in the comments, which wife in all of these series so far resonates with you the most? Which one is closest to your story? I'd really love to know. My name is Oge, and this is Karma Living. Please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. We're building a very, very intimate and intentional community right here. And I'll be glad if you're a part of it. Jesus loves you. You have no idea how much.